Hello guys, happy holidays and welcome to another one of my holiday home decor videos. If you haven't seen any of the other ones, make sure you check them out. I have made a ton and I have a lot more to go. So today's video is going to be this table centerpiece. I love how it turned out, and if you want to see how I made this, just keep on watching. Okay, so all you're going to need for this DIY is a piece of garland. I know that Dollar Tree has some, but I already had this one, so I decided to just use what I had. You can go ahead and buy some at Dollar Tree or Michael's. Michael's always has coupons and always has a very good deal. You'll also need a hot glue gun, some scissors, some zip ties, and some flowers, whatever you choose. These are from Dollar Tree. Okay, so my garland was very long, and my centerpiece consists of like two pieces. You'll kind of see what I mean later. So basically what I did is I took my entire garland, cut it into two pieces so that each side of the centerpiece was one piece of garland. Does that make sense? Then I took one of the pieces, so let's just talk about the one part for now, and then you'll just repeat the whole thing for the other side. So you take your piece of garland, cut that into two pieces, and then one of the pieces will be cut into three pieces and the other one into four pieces. So you'll basically have 7 pieces of garland for each side. 3 of them are going to be a little longer, and then 4 of them are going to be a little bit shorter. So here you can see me bending the piece of garland that's going to become 3 pieces, and as you can see, I just make sure that the little hairs or the little leaves of the garland are pulled away so that I don't cut any of that. I don't want to trim my garland, I just want to cut it, and I'm just using some pliers to do that. And actually these pliers have like a little sharp piece that works as a wire cutter, and super convenient, which I didn't know. My husband told me when he saw me doing this. I was struggling and he was like, just use this. So then if you have some wire cutters, that's going to be even better, but I'm just cutting this into 3 pieces. Once I have my 3 pieces, I'm going to straighten them as much as I can. These are obviously made out of wires, so you can kind of control the shape of it. So I'm just going to make them super straight, or as much as I can, like I said, and I'm going to lay them flat next to each other. This is going to be the bottom part of my centerpiece, so I'm basically layering the pieces of garland, and that's why the other ones have to be shorter, so that you have some more texture and some more depth to your garland, as opposed to just like straight pieces of a garland. I don't know if that makes sense, but once it's done, I think that it turned out pretty cool. Then once I lay those flat, I'm going to take some zip ties and attach the pieces to each other. So let's say that we number these pieces as 1, 2, and 3. First, I'm going to attach piece number 1 to piece number 2, and then I'm going to attach piece number 2 to piece number 3. I don't want to just zip tie the whole thing because it's just going to make it flat, and I don't know, I don't think that it would look fine, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And as long as they're attached to each other, then the piece should hold in place. Once your whole thing is zip tied, just go ahead and cut away the excess plastic from the zip ties. You definitely don't want those sticking out of your centerpiece. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the other piece of the garland into 4 smaller pieces. And once I do that, I'm going to kind of arrange them on top of this to first of all see what I like and see how I want them to be. As you can see, I just play around with it for a little bit, make sure that things look fine before I commit to attaching the whole thing. And once I'm happy with the placement of everything, I'm going to remove them carefully and just not forget what I decided on. And then I'm going to do the same method that I used before. So again, I'm going to number these 4 through 7, is it? And then I'm going to attach 4 to 1, 5 to 2, 6 to 3, 7 somewhere else. You know what I mean? I hope that that makes sense. What you don't want to do is attach everything to everything. You just want to attach one piece to one single piece. I hope that that makes sense. Also, whenever you place a zip tie, make sure that after you cut it, you turn it around so that the bulkier side is in the bottom and it's not visible. And also, once you turn it around and it's not visible, make sure you fluff your garland again so that your zip tie is as hidden as possible, and also that your garland is not like flat, if you know what I mean. So once your piece is fluffed and tied and ready to go, you want to repeat the same thing with the other side of your centerpiece. And once they are both ready, you want to place the thinner sides of each one kind of in the center, and what you want to do is take one big zip tie and attach the whole thing together. Now here you don't really care if it's tied too tight or if it's looking thin, because you're just going to be covering that part anyway. Now that your two pieces are tied together, here comes the fun part, because now it's time to decorate your garland or your centerpiece. So for this, I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree flowers, and I'm just going to cut them at the stem of each one with some wire cutters again. And then I'm just going to start hot gluing the flowers to the centerpiece. So the way that I did it was I placed one flower in the front, one flower in the back, and then one in the center. I think that this worked out best for me because of the little stem of the flower. It is sticking out, so placing it just in the center may have been crooked if I did that first. So one front, one back, then center. And then once I did those, then I placed two flowers next to the one in the center, so one to the left, one to the right, and then again one to the left, one to the right, to the ones in the front and in the back. So in total you're going to need 9 flowers, or at least that's what I did. I decided to leave it at that. At first I thought I wanted to put flowers like along the sides or something like that, but once I tried it, I didn't really like it. I kind of wanted the center of the thing to just be full and ballooned, and then the rest to just be branches. I personally prefer that look. You do what you will, whatever you like best, but that's just what I decided on. Next, I'm going to be adding some cranberry branches. If you saw my wreath video, you know that these are the exact 2 things that I use for that. So since my wreath is in my dining room or my dining space, because it's not really a room, then I kind of wanted them to match and be cohesive. So I just took the cranberries and I placed one branch on either side of the flowers, and that's basically all I did. I glued that in place and I left it at that. Again, I thought originally that I wanted to place more like along the sides, but once I tried it, I just was not feeling it. I prefer this look. And that's basically it. Once you're done gluing everything to your centerpiece, you're completely done with your project. So I hope you guys love this DIY. I really love how it turned out. I think that it goes so well with my rustic glam theme. I just love how it turned out so much. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're curious about the rest of my table, don't worry, I have more videos coming for you with more DIYs and just more holiday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays.